What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we'll go ahead and continue on with the RPG series. We'll go ahead and set up the target lock system so we can lock the camera into the enemy while we are in combat, and it will just enable us to have a bit of less worries when we are fighting and so on. And also we'll go ahead and set up a dodge and roll system so we can dodge our enemy to the right, to the left, and so on. It's gonna be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we are gonna go ahead and do is basically do one thing that you guys have commented me and also let me know in the Discord. And right now, basically, when you go ahead and crouch, and your capsule collider doesn't go ahead and shrink. So let's say that I was going ahead and getting this thing over here. I'm gonna duplicate real quick. You don't have to do this, okay guys? It's just to showcase what I'm saying right now, and make it, let's say, like this. So right now I cannot pass, but if I'm crouched, okay, that's a bit too low, maybe like this. So like this, of course I cannot pass, but if I crouch I should be able, but I still cannot pass, and this is because of the capsule component. So we have to go ahead and basically decrease. So let's go into the third person blueprint over here, okay? And we can also go ahead and you see it real quick. If I enable the capsule component, so we can see it right when we play the game. So come on, load. There we go into the viewport, and if I select the capsule component over here, I can go into details and search for the hidden in game and just disable it. So now you will see it on game, and you can see. So basically, when I crouch, you can see that it still is like with the height of what the normal player would have. And of course, we don't want that. We want to go ahead and change it depending we are crouched or not. So let's go quickly into the event graph. I'm gonna go into our crouch, and you can see that we have all our stuff over here, and basically we have to go into here basically when we start crouching. So let's get all of this right over here. So basically from the camera and also the sprinting, let's get all this and put a bit to the right so we have some space. So basically let's go ahead and get our capsule component, and the value that we have to change is this. So set half height, and this is basically the height. So now we can just plug this here, copy, paste this, plug this here, and plug this here. Beautiful. Okay, let's put this over here so we can see a bit better. And great, I can now put this here so it's a bit better. Okay, so right now the capsule height, the half height is 90. So let's say that, of course, when we go and exit our crouching, we need to set it back to 90. But when we start crouching, let's set it to around, let's say 40, okay? And now you will see that the capsule will decrease. And also, yes, I need to connect the capsule component to the node because I duplicated it. Okay, so now you will see that when I crouch, the capsule indeed goes ahead and shrinks. But basically there are a few problems, and first of all, 40 is too low, and then our character is going through the ground and so on, and there are many reasons on why this is happening. If we go here, you can see that if I put it into 40, exactly, the feet will be on the ground, and that's not really what we want. So what we have to do is find a middle point. So let's say 50, 60, kind of 65, I think will be kind of the point over there. So let's head to 60, okay? Let's go put it back to 90, of course, and then let me close these tabs and open again the event graph. So it's a bit cleaner. Put this here. Okay, and let's go and put this around 60, we said. So now, of course, we can go ahead and crouch, but if we have a problem, and is that, of course, our well, we have two problems. Is our mesh is going through the ground, and then also it's very snappy. There's a snap, as you can see. So there are a few things that we can go ahead and change over here. First of all, let's quickly go ahead and resolve a bit of the snappiness. So what we can do is enable camera lag, and it's just basically making the camera movement much smoother, as it will add a nice interpolation with a small delay in its movement. So we go into the camera boom and we search for a lag. You will see here, enable camera lag. So if I enable this and compile, you will not notice a huge difference when we play the game right on, but if I crouch, now it is not so snappy. And don't worry, we'll increase the less snappiness in a second. We'll fix one more thing. We'll basically do this slowly, not directly set the height. But just to show you a bit how the camera lag works, if I put this value into, let's say instead of 10, 1, and go here, you can see that now it takes much more for a camera to follow the player. So basically it's just making things smoother depending on this value. The higher, the quicker it will be. So around 10 works pretty good, honestly. I like it, and also our movement in our game will be also smoother, as you can see. Like it's just a bit smoother, it's a bit better, and also we can just increase it maybe a bit. Let's put it to 12. You know, you can play with the settings. So I think 12 will work pretty good. And then also when we crouch, it's less snappy, but still it is a bit snappy. So we have to go ahead and also fix that. But then also in our half height, we have to change this. Because right now, if we put this instead of 90 to 60, okay, it is smaller. But then we'll have to increase our height. So we have to put it back until here, right? Until the foot over here. So what we can do is just add 30, because it's just basically the difference between the two. So we can just add an offset of 30 into our mesh when we change it. Let's go back into the Venn graph, and right after this, just put once again our camera movement, well, distance over here, and we're gonna get our mesh, and basically we're gonna use the node which is add offset, and it's gonna be a local offset. Okay, it's a pretty big node, but we're only gonna use one more thing, which is here. So in the set, add 30, and then I'm gonna do the same, copy and paste it, but put it over here, and now plug in the mesh, and then this will be minus 30 because we want to subtract it. And now you will see that when I crouch, it is correct. And also I forgot to put this back into 90 at the start, sorry about that. Put this 90, there we go, and then you can see that now it is correctly, but there's still this snappiness into it. So now also I will be able to go through. Great, pretty cool, as you can see. And then when I'm like this, no, so that's exactly what we want. Great. So now what I want to do is basically slowly, with also a timeline, change this value. So again, this is very messy, so let's go ahead and make some space into it. So let's get all this and just put a bit up, so we can put this one a bit up, and basically move this one. There we go, because there's a lot of things going on. Let's get this, move it here, this here, and this here. Sorry about this, guys, but we need to do some cleaning, because holy cow, this is pretty messy right now over here. Okay, much better. Great, so we have to add some timeline into this too. So just go ahead and right click, add timeline over here, and then this will be the capsule height, something like that. So go ahead and double click to enter it, and now it's gonna add a float, and this is gonna be our new height. Okay, it's gonna be a float track, and now we want to set the length to be, let's say, how much does this take in the other cam? It is 1 second. All right, so we'll do the same. Let's put it, well, actually let's do 0.5, because I think it's gonna be better. So let's put 0.5 and then add a key. The first key, let's select it and put the time to be 0, as it will be the start and the value as 0. But then let's add another key, and this time the time will be at 0.5, which is where it ends, and then the value at 1. And then you will see that it will just go in a linear increase here. So we can just now go ahead and play this from the start, right actually before we set our capsule height. So move this a bit, and let's get this play it from start, and then on update we'll go ahead and put this here, basically both of these ones. The thing is that we don't want to also basically do all this in the update, because this is basically separate. So what we want to do is from here do a sequence, and yes, the first one will go from here, but the second one will go all the way to here, to the branch, so we don't have to do anything in there. Let's double click to put this here and put this one here. So yeah, extremely messy, but we don't have a lot of room, but there we go, we can make it a bit better. Great. So that's what we're going ahead and working. And now from this, we need to do exactly the same. Another sequence. This one will go into the reverse. Okay, not from it, but just reverse. And this one will just go straight into the branch. And now we can disconnect this one. Okay, because if not, it will go ahead and do so there. And yes, I just forgot, we can just delete this both ones over here. No, this one no, because now if we do the reverse, it will go back into normal. So great, everything going crazy. Crazy good. So let's get the height and let's do a lerp, and you'll see a float lerp. So now we can hold Ctrl and move the A into the alpha. So now we can transition between two values, which in this case will be from 90 to 60. And now we can just plug that into the half height capsule. And then we will need to do the same with the local offset. So we're gonna get another lerp float, and then move it into the alpha with Ctrl. The first point will be what was it? Yes, 30, and then it's gonna be minus 30. And then we're gonna plug that into there. But we need to right click in here and split it so we can just put it into the Z axis. And that should work exactly like it is always, but with a nice okay, so you can see the capsule is good, but the offset is incorrect. We don't have to basically add a local, we have to transition between two. So now in the mesh, we can just do set location, set relative location for the mesh. Okay, I added two meshes. Okay, we're gonna delete this one because now it's not adding, now it's just setting because it's better for us. Again, right click, split it, and put it on the Z. But now we have to manually find the position. So at the start it will be minus 89. So let's plug that in here, minus 89. And then the second one will be basically, what was it, plus 30. So it will be minus 59. Okay, so minus 59. There we go. A lot of calculations here, but there we go. So now, there we go. We have a smooth transition between the two. Oh, okay, thankfully, okay? Sorry about that, guys, if I confused some of you guys. It was mainly because there was a bit of a spaghetti go there. But basically, let me real quick recover it. So basically, until here, we are making a sequence. So it will just do the same of the camera. It will just continue like normal, okay? Nothing will go ahead and change. But in the first one here, it will do the new thing. So basically we're doing a small transition here, and we're getting this transition from 90 to 60, and we're setting this new height. So slowly it will do it. And then in here, we're basically changing from this location instead, which is the normal one, into the new one, basically, and applying it to our mesh. And then when it's in the not crouching, we will just do it from the reverse, because it will just go, you know, to the other values. And then on here, we'll just continue as normal to the camera. So yeah, sorry about that, but done. We can move on into the target lock, thankfully. So let's go ahead and do so, but let's create a new input. So let's go into the third person, inputs, and then actions. And now we can just go ahead and right click, go into input, action. It's gonna be EA underscore. And then in here we can say it's gonna be target lock. And we don't have to even open it, just save it and close it. Great. Let's go now to the collection, and on here we can add it. So new mapping, and this will be our target lock, and then we're gonna assign a key. In this case, we can select it and say tab. Okay, let's say that with tab we can go ahead and target lock. Of course, you can choose whatever key you want. Let's close it, and now we can just go down over here into the blueprints. Let's find a nice space right over here. Let's say under sprinting, right click. It's gonna be EA underscore target lock, the first one with the arrow here. And basically in startup, we can start making our calculations. So what we want to do is make a sphere trace by channel. Basically, this will just create an invisible right cast, an invisible sphere forward. Okay, well, right now not forward, but we'll set it so it's forward. So the starting point will be actually from the camera. So let's get the follow camera and then say get weld location. And now we can just plug that into the start over here. Great. Now the endpoint will basically be, well, let's get the rotation, okay, the weld rotation, And let's get the forward axis, basically where the camera is looking at. And now we can just multiply this value by a number. So it's going to be the distance that we will be able to detect an enemy. But we have to right click over here and convert this into a nice float, a nice number. And in this case, it will be, let's say, around 500. And now what we need to do is get this and just add this into this. So we'll get the direction, and this will be the end point. So the starting point will just be in our camera, and the end point will be 500 of distance in front of our camera. And then the radius, let's set something as 125. Of course, you can play with the settings once we have it going on. And then the debug type, let's say it's going to be for duration, so we can preview it. So naturally we can start previewing it. If I compound and go here, I can press tab, and you can see this sphere. So this is where the it will detect the enemy. So if I go here, I will say tab, and then if it detects the enemy, it will go there. So great, everything is going ahead and working. So now we need to go ahead and just make sure that we have hit something. So if we have hit something, we can now get the out hit and break it. So we can get all the details about the object. So we want to get the hit actor and make sure that it has the tag damageable, which is the one that we create for the enemy. In this case, just the dummy. So let's go ahead and just check if it's spelled like that. Ctrl E to open the dummy. And now we can go into the class defaults and search up tag. And then it's this one, damageable. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it so it's the same spelling, just in case, but it should be completely fine. So any tag that has this, any actor that has this tag will be able to target lock into it. So it's gonna be cool and very dynamic. So get the out hit and make another branch. This will be a separate branch over here. Great. So now what to do is basically target lock into that one. So let's save the hit actor into a variable. Right click and then promote to variable. And this will be the actor to target lock. Okay. And now we'll just set it over here in the true. So if this is true, okay, it has the tag damageable. We want to go ahead and set it as a new variable. Great. So now we can compound and save. So now we will detect our enemy and save it in a variable, but of course nothing more will go ahead and happen. So what we need to do now is go into the Ventic and do some things over there. So let's go here and move all that into the right, which is actually in a stamina, but it's okay, we'll move it later on and make a sequence. So we'll do the stamina things over here, and then in another point we'll do our basically our new stuff. So let me just wrap it a bit. Let's press C to comment it. It's gonna be target lock. Let me put the T. There we go. And then let's apply our preset over here. Great. So this is basically perfect. So in here, what we can do is now make sure that we have an actor to target lock. If so, basically we are target locking. So let's get the actor. And let's right click and convert this into a validated get. So basically if it's valid, it means that this variable has our actor that we have just detected saved on. So if it's true, basically we need to target lock. So what we want to do is basically get the controller. Okay, we need to get the controller. And now what we need to do is set the control rotation. So this will basically set up and override the whole rotation of our player. So now the new rotation will be basically a find local rotation. The starting point will be our current location, so get actor location, but our destiny, our target, will be the actor location of our enemy. So now we can just plug that into target. And I know this is very messy right now because it's overlapping with our code. Let's put it over here. Great, that's a bit better. We'll move the event tick later on. So now if we compile, you will see that actually it should be working. So if I go here and press tab and I get a bit closer, I need to change the distance. You can see that I cannot move with my mouse and camera, but it will be target locked into the enemy. Great. So now we need to do some more things. First of all, you notice that the camera was very down. So the thing that we can do is basically apply an offset. So let's go and break this pin and right click and split it on both of them. Okay, and then actually we don't have to split it, so we can just drag this and basically subtract it. So we're gonna subtract an amount of distance. Let's say in the set 100. So basically now the thing will be upper. And also let's increase a bit the distance. So let's say 1000. Pretty far away. We're gonna be able to detect our enemies. So let's go here, press tab. Press tab. I think it's colliding with something else, huh? Okay, sorry about that. Yes, I think it's colliding. It should be touching only the damageable, and it has ignore self. So I don't really know why it's not detecting him. There we go. Now I don't know what happened, but hey, now the camera is basically more up in the sky, so it's easier for us to go ahead and see the enemy and so on, and it's easier to us for attack. It will be already pinned into the center of him. Great. So now we need to go ahead and, well, do the opposite. Be able to untarget lock. Let's go here into the starter. We can get a branch, and sorry, not a branch, but we can just get the actor here, and then right click and convert to validate. So basically we'll plug it here, and if it's not valid, it means that this variable is empty. We have not a target lock to go ahead and lock on, so we just want to do the calculations. But if we already have one on, we want to go ahead and get this target lock and set it to be nothing, empty. So now basically we will not be able to continue to target lock, because in Adventic it will detect that it is empty. So if I target lock, as you can see, I'm target locking, but when I press tab again, I will go ahead and be free. And then I can go and target lock to him if it detects. I don't know why something's detected or not, but now we can go ahead and target lock again. Great, so everything is working, and I think it's colliding with myself, honestly, which is pretty strange. Anyway, I'm gonna also turn on the capsule component to not be hidden in game, because that's a bit, yes. And the sword should not have any collision, but it's weird because basically we have ignore self on. So I don't know why it's not, sometimes not detecting. See, it's like colliding, it's like making two different ones. Strange, but anyway. Oh, you know what? It's the trace channel, which is set to visibility. Let's go quickly into here, into our dummy. Let's Ctrl E, and let's go into the capsule component. And basically, if we open collision presets, you will see, okay, visibility is set to block, and the mesh itself is set to block. So it should always detect it. So, okay, now detected the first time. Okay. Anyway, you can go ahead and right now target lock in our enemy. Also potion warp into it. Okay, so now there's only one more thing left in this video, and basically it is the dodge. So again, I have left the animation in the description. You just go ahead and load it from Google Drive. It's again from the RPG template from Epic Games, totally free. I just extracted this animation so it's easier for you guys, and then just go ahead and grab it and just drag it into the content browser. But first, let's go ahead and open the folder so everything is organized. Let's go to characters, RPG character, animations, and now let's go ahead and create a new folder. It's gonna be dodge underscore raw. Let's go ahead and open this, and now we can just drag it into here. So the skeleton will be the normal ASK mannequin, the UE5 one, and now we can just say import all, and now we have the animation here. So you can see if we open it, you can see the motion warping happening, and we need to go under here and say enable root motion and also force root lock. Great. So now we need to go and create a new input so we can play. So let's go into the third person character, input, and actions, and just go ahead and right click and create a new, where is it, input action, EA underscore, and this will be basically this dodge. We don't have to do anything, we just need to go into collection and now add a new mapping. In this case, it will be basically dodge. And let's say it's gonna be, for example, X. The thing is that we have control and shift already for motion vaulting and also crouching. So we'll see later on in the series, we'll arrange our keys better, of course. And if we will also add mapping for controllers, which is really the best game, I guess, to play an RPG. So we'll also add that, and it'll be better. Anyway, can go back now into the third-person character, and let's go down over here in target lock. So again, EA underscore, it's gonna be in this case dodge, okay, with the arrow. And in started, we'll go ahead and say play anim montage. Okay, great. So now we have to create an animation montage. So let's go back into our animation that we have just imported in here in the dodge raw. Just right click into it, create anim montage. We can leave the name like this, go here and just plug it in. Great. So now we'll play the animation each time that we press the key, but we only want to do it basically we want to do it even though we are attacking. So maybe I am attacking and I want to go ahead, you can see how cool it looks, and basically, you know, vault. So vault not, but dodge. Okay, so the thing is that if I am in middle of an attack, you will see, and I vault, not vault but dodge, you can see that I cannot longer attack. So basically we need to detect if we are attacking, and if so, cancel the combo. So we need to go ahead and just get this and make a branch, and we're gonna go and get our attack system component, and then say get is attacking. And if it's not attacking, it will directly go into the anim montage. But if it is attacking, we need to get this and do stop combo and put it in true, basically in between. Great. So that's pretty much it. So what we have to do, and that's it. So now we can go ahead and attack, and I can dodge and then continue to attack perfectly. Great. So now I can go ahead and target lock to the enemy. You can go ahead and start fighting, and then you can go and dodge, cancel my attack, go back here, attack, dodge in all directions, go back here, dodge, and continue attacking. Great. Now the thing is that I can interrupt my dodge, and it looks pretty weird, as you can see. So let's quickly go ahead and make a variable called is dodging, and basically need to change this code to be, instead of play anim montage, play animation play montage, just play montage. Hold Ctrl to get all the pins and mode here, and then let's plug in the dodge again. So the thing is that this node, as difference compared to the other one, it will have different outputs for when the animation is completed. Also get the mesh and drag it into the skeleton mesh, so it will play in that mesh over there. So when it's completed, we'll get and set its dodging to be false. But when it started, we will set its dodging to true. And then at the start, we will go ahead and make sure that make another branch and make sure that we are not dodging. So let's get dodging, and it's not boolean. Great. So we cannot dodge and dodge while we are dodging. Okay, so now you can see it's great. I cannot do what I was doing before. Great, really cool stuff over here. Let's go into characters, repeat character animations, go back into the dodge raw. Let's open the montage, and I just wanted to do the final thing. Let's go into the blend out, and let's put this on cubic, and let's put around 0.4 seconds. Basically, it will just make the blending out a bit smoother, as you can see. Okay, just makes it a bit smoother, and there we go. So there's one more thing that I want to look, and it's that sometimes, you know, it doesn't detect the enemy for some reason, very strange reason. So I'm gonna go back into the target lock, and instead of doing a sphere trace by channel, I'm gonna make a sphere object, a sphere trace for objects. It's pretty much the same thing, but instead of giving us basically detecting the object by a channel, it would just detect the object by the object type. So let's hold it, hold control, move this down, hold control, move this down, hold control, move this down, and hold control, move this down, hold control, move this down, hold control, move this down. If it doesn't crash, why is okay, well, just plug the endpoint here. And the radius 125, and then the debug type for duration, let's go ahead and just move it down because we don't need it right now. Let's put it up. Let's get object types and say make array. So now we can select, and in our case it will be pawns, because normally in Unreal Engine all the characters are pawns. In our case, it is, and it will continue to be so. So pawns, and that's pretty much it. So see, that's gonna fix it, hopefully, and it didn't. it made it worse, basically. So maybe, okay, so yes, it's a pawn, right? Let's make it, well, maybe it's a physics body because it changed. Just a second, guys. Yes, so it is a physics body. If you can try pawn, if it doesn't work, it's physics body. And the reason is that we have it, so our mesh, it has basically a physics body in it. That's really, I mean, the capsule component is like a pawn kind of, but whatever reason. But now it should always work. Yes, good. So now the combat should be way more fluid, as you can see, and yes, okay, good. And also our crouching, it is way smoother. Go here, there we go. Cool stuff over here. So if you found it so helpful, I would really appreciate you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 tutorials, so if you want to go ahead and check them out, go ahead, join my Discord server so you can go ahead and show the progress that you're making in the series or in your own games or projects, and also ask any questions about the series or that you have in general on Unreal Engine, and talk with other devs such as me. Follow me on all my socials, so there's Twitter and Instagram. And now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.